Hey, it's DigiFoxCat with another coloring tutorial. I think I fixed the problem from the last issue. Sorry about the shaky camera. I accidentally hit the zoom button and yeah, that didn't turn out too well. So I'm going to do another coloring video. This is strictly with good old Prismacolors here. Here's the whites because it's the easiest to see. And this is my latest drawing from my food and drink challenge that I have on Facebook. So this is mochi, and I'm going to make her green tea since it's a very popular flavor right now. Let's see if I can get you a better angle of her. There she is. So she's got a really poofy dress for her mochi self and a really cute expression. And let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start off with Prismacolor's Light Peach. It's going to be PC 927. I really like this for a skin tone. It's really nice for a light Caucasian person, basically, which is most of what I draw because I am Caucasian. And when it comes to browns, you really, as an artist, you're picking and choosing, and it's hard to get the perfect brown. And I'm not as familiar as doing brown skin because I'm not brown. So basically I'm just going to go in and color, so her arms, her neck, her face, and her legs are all going to be a skin tone. And like I said in my previous video, I like to hold it like a regular pencil up high, so it's kind of like this angle on the paper, just for a nice smooth edge. And then we'll get to go in and I'll show you how I really smooth out skin and show you how to shade the skin with the Prismacolors and the way that I do it. There's multiple ways of shading. You can use any sort of shading you want. I am working from the right of the picture to the left. That way I'm not, well, if I was getting closer to it, I wouldn't be smearing it all over, being left-handed. And Prismacolors are naturally softer, so you can do blending and smearing and smudging very nicely with them, as I've gathered with a few of my pictures. Okay, so I've got her all done, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Prismacolor colorless blender, the PC 1077, for those who want to know what number to search for it. And basically this blends colors together. It has no color in the thing, so it's good at picking up colors to transfer it to other spots. And you can get the paper stubs that look like little pencils, but they're made completely out of paper. You can use those too. I use those mainly for regular pencil and charcoals. So basically, to thin out the skin, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to come in and go over the skin with this, just so it smooths it out and makes it look very nice and neat. If you want a very hard smooth, you can go in, like I showed on my last video, with just the point and really get in there and get it. But I just like this to kind of smooth it out because Prismacolors will stay on top of the page, and this, so you can see like all of the pattern of the page pulp when it was first being done. So this just goes and kind of smooths out the skin here. I don't do this all the time, it's just when I want a nice smoother clean. And like I said, I'm not afraid to turn my page because this problem right here is a left-handed person's nightmare. Too long pressing this in, you're gonna crush it. You can have little marks all over your arm. So you either draw like this upside down, or you learn to draw regularly and just turn your page. I'm not against either. However, I have noticed when I have done the backwards drawing in sketchbooks, I get funny looks and questions like, why are you doing that? You're so weird. I'm like, I'm left-handed. Okay, so I finished up her body shading, and I'm going to do her head because heads are a little harder to shade. So I'm going to come in here. She's got part of her hair kind of swooping back trying to come out into her face. So I'm just going to do a shading of her hairline, and then just kind of outlining this part here. And then I'm going to give her shading underneath it. Maybe a little bigger in a section. And then I'm going to turn around again. I'm going to be doing this a lot. I don't care if you comment on it. And I'm just going to make this kind of stand out here for this part of the hair. And when the hair's like this, I tend to do more of a shading like this, so I kind of grab in, and then this part's going to be shaded because of the hair coming down. And I kind of make a line so it's not so abruptly stopped. So that's going to be the hair shading. I'll try to get this so you can see it better in the camera. So there's the hair shading. So yeah, when you got hair like this, I tend to do it out just a little bit, and then like this whole part of the face would be shaded. Okay, so I'm going to move on to her hair, and that's going to be the True Green, the PC 910 Prismacolor. And here I'm also going to be doing, so her hair is going to represent the inside mochi because I'm going to do ice cream. So the ice cream usually is a little bit darker, so I went with a darker green versus a lighter green of the outside of the gummy mochi out exterior. And what I'm also considering doing is doing like her earring and her shoes the same color, just to kind of tie everything together. So I'm going to turn it slightly here, and just so I can get in. I have a very light touch when I'm doing detail like right in here by her ear, so I'm still getting that same light tone to it, but I'm doing more of a controlled stroke type deal here with it. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a tighter darkness just to get a different contrast for her ear versus her hair here. So yeah, sometimes I do that same light stroke all the way around the area, kind of like this, to give me an outline, so that way I know that, okay, it's controlled by the line and I'm not going to make a mistake by it. So doing something like this, I'm going to show you on the bun here, because who doesn't love a good bun head? And then I'm going to take and do more of the controlled stroke in the bun. Now what I'm going to do with the bun, since I didn't think about it, is I'm going to show you what I like to do sometimes if I forget. So I've just got a regular click eraser. This is Pentel's click eraser. And basically I go in, let's say I want some shading right here, and usually speaking you can work at it and you get erasable, muted. There's still some color there. Let's get the camera up to it. Some color there, but not much. And you got a highlight. And that's how you erase highlights. My way. If you want more of a bright contrast and you forget, you can always take your white and go over that spot. I don't tend to do that because I'm not as good with that. The other way I like to do it is I come in that light stroke again and kind of give it, and I do something like this. And then if you want the color in the spot, you take your colorless blender and you just blend over it, and you've got light. Well, when you have more color it works a little bit better, but then you got the light shade in there from the colorless blender picking up a little bit of the shade. Okay, shading on the hair now. Yeah, so basically from the lighting and the way I have it, so you could get in here, and the ear, the little tuft is going to have some, so this area back here is going to be darker. Right, and then kind of around the bun here, at least right here. And then you can do a nice sharp line around the bun to give it kind of some depth. And then here, just this part right here that's going behind the ear, and then bring it down a little bit. And bring the shading up a little bit. Bottom of the bun, of course. Kind of give it a curve down there and get it some nice dark shading there. Sometimes it's easier to work with sharp and pencil, so a lot of times when I'm doing a lot of shading, like on the dress here or hair, if it's got a lot of hair and a lot of tiny parts that you can't get into, always use sharpener. I think this is like my pink one that I have with my Crayolas. I believe I got them as a 2-pack at Target a few years ago, and I really like it because it's got 2 different holes. So you got a smaller one and a larger one. Larger ones, like the Duant Art, fit decently in the larger one, and then you can get a nice point by putting the smaller ones on there. Okay, so I finished up her hair, did her little shoes. I did them darker like I did the green. And then I did the base coat on her dress, which is, I think it's pale green, but I am not positive since, as you can tell, it's very, very tiny. But it's PC 920, which I believe is light green, pale green, rather. But I'm not positive on that. So I'm just going to go in. Clothing is hard. It's hard to get shading right and to figure out where the wrinkles and everything are. So you just want to practice, practice, practice. Get, you know, watch people. It is okay to see how people do it and reference it. Okay, so I've got her dress on. Well, shading and base coat, rather. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the white, which is PC 938, since I've been doing that for all of them, and I'm just going to go over the dress to give it kind of that powdery look, because if you've ever had mochi, it's got kind of a cornstarch. It's kind of tasteless, but it kind of tastes like cornstarch. It's not really powdered sugar over the coating of it, so it doesn't stick to your hands, doesn't stick to the package. So I'm going to kind of go over it with the white here, just kind of lighten up and give it. I might go through and do patches, but I don't think so. I think I'm going to leave it just the way it is here after doing this. And then I might take to smooth it out, take my colorless blender and just kind of smooth it out a little bit too, and kind of blend the two together. Or at least here on the skirt maybe. And as I turn the camera slowly here she is. And so that's my coloring technique with Prismacolors.